Welcome back, everyone, to our gameplay series of X4 Foundations. So we're about 4 hours or so into the game at this point, just to give you an idea of how long it's taking to do some of these things. And as you might expect, it is taking a while to get our fabrication bay up and running. But before we get into that, one thing that has been going well is the research. So we got started on that last time. Now let's go in and check out and see what all has been done. So quite a bit. I've decided just to work my way down the list for right now. We're ready to start up a new research, and we'll do the defense module hack. Now, most of these we won't end up using long term, but it doesn't cost us anything, so we might as well go ahead and keep this going as long as I can remember to do it. The biggest thing that I wanted to get done was the teleportation. And range 3 lets me know that I can jump across the entire game world. So there's nowhere I can't go now and transport to one of my stations or one of my ships, either one. So all of that is doing well. Now let's actually come back in. We're currently sitting on the HQ. That's where we are right now. And so let's come back into plan build. So a few things have changed since we were last together, basically out of necessity. One thing that I've done, and you can see it here on the diagram, is I have added a 3-dock tier. This is for the bigger ships, the large, extra large type ships, but there's 3 separate docks available for those. I added that because I think long term we might be able to add at least 1 or 2 of the larger ships to our own fleet for trading purposes and make some use out of them. I'm still planning on using the small to medium sized ships for the overwhelming majority of my fleet, but I want to be able to, as needed, get some larger amounts of resources in if we need that, and this docking pier will allow us to do that. Also, you notice that our fabrication bay, we are halfway done. And if we open this up a little bit further, you can see that Claytronics, we have everything we need. Energy cells, we have everything we need. Now it's all down to hull parts. And that brings me to the next thing that I was basically forced to do for time purposes. And that is I needed to purchase 3 more trading vessels. Now, the problem I had was I could not purchase any ships from anywhere except for one place. The Parented Wharf was the only place that I could get ships built, so here you see them. I built 3 of them, and I've simply loaded them up manually with a lot of orders for hull parts, and that's going to get us where we need to be. Of course, we only need a little over 6,000 to finish up the fabrication bay. The rest of those will be used for the pier as well as the connecting structure, and that should have us up and going at least for the near term on this particular station, and then we'll branch out and do some other things a little bit later. But this is going to be something that we needed to do eventually, so I decided let's just make it happen right now and get it out of the way so we don't have to really try to cram it in later on as the invasion approaches and we're start to run out of time. I know this takes a while, so I wanted to go ahead and get this done, so I think this is going to be a very good thing. Now, one thing you notice here, this particular trader, if I'm not mistaken, is a large trader, and that's why he's actually been on this list forever. And that would be why. He's been on the list simply because he has nowhere to dock currently, as far as I know. Now, he should be able to dock with the actual builder out here, but for whatever reason, he is not able to, so he can't. So that's going to be our biggest holdup, is you can see just how much of a difference that it makes in terms of storage. I mean, we can fit a little over 300 in one of our medium-sized traders. Again, this is a parented ship, and this one can hold 2,100. So it's such a huge difference. Now, these things are very slow, but this guy has been on our list absolutely forever. And for that reason, I want to try to get some things built going forward, and hopefully we can keep this type of thing from happening in the future once we get our station up and built. So right now you see I have not renamed these three particular traders. I plan on doing that once we get to the point where I'm ready to turn them loose at the HQ and assign them to the HQ and let them start supplying our station. But for right now, I'm keeping them and manually working with them. They are working entirely with hull parts. So basically what I've been doing, you see here I've got my search narrowed down to just hull parts, and I've basically been going through the different sectors, and like you can see, we've got some that are available here in Argon Prime. You've got some over here. Actually, you've got two hull parts factories over here that I am aware of. You've got one right here, and then there's another one a little farther back that I've been dealing with. And then you've got one over here in Atikva's Choice 1, and then there's some others that are spread across. You can see over here in Silent Witness, it looks like we've got one. So there are hull parts to be had, but unfortunately I couldn't get any of the AI factions to actually bring me any of them. So I was essentially forced to do it all on my own. And so that's why we have these three ships. All right, so at this point, you notice we've got this icon here. Let's go ahead and turn off that. We don't need that right now. So you notice we've got this flashing icon and the exclamation point here. That is because we have managed to increase our faction relations. So with Antigone, we are at +5. +11 with Argon. Hatikva Free League, +10. The HOP, +5. And then finally, Talati, we are at +8. So things are going very nicely there. So what we need to do now is we actually need to make our way over to the shipyard. This is where the representative is in this particular playthrough. I was really hoping it was going to be, the representative was going to be located over here at the wharf, but the luck of the draw got us over to the shipyard this time. So what I'm going to do is I've actually stationed our beginning ship over here at the shipyard. So we're actually going to teleport over to that, and that will save us the trip. And while we're over here, let's see. Okay, there we go. Let's let it catch up. Frame drop there for a moment. Okay, there we go. I think it's caught up now. So what we're going to do is head over and see the representative. We're going to receive our rank, and then we're going to take a look at purchasing some blueprints. We're going to need a lot of blueprints as the game goes on, but for right now we're going to start out with some of the basics. Okay, let's start out by receiving our rank.
We've been watching your work with great interest and wanted to reward you for it. I'm pleased to present you with a new rank amongst our organization. Of course, this rank comes with great benefits. These benefits are tied to the rank, so if you lose the rank, the benefits go too. But with your record, I'm sure we won't have to worry about that. I hope you find these rewards fit into the work you've done and make the most of them. Oh, and you may also find that certain organizations under our jurisdiction now have existing ranks. Once again, thank you for your efforts. We look forward to working with you more.
All right, well, we look forward to working with you in the future. That feeling is mutual, no doubt. So now that we received our rank, I'm not terribly worried about licenses right now. Let's actually look at the ships. And let's see what we've got. The Callisto is not a bad one. Cerberus is certainly a good one, but medium-sized ships, you can see, that is not something I don't think we want to mess with right now. So let's go Elite Vanguard is a nice one. Let's see, what else do we have in here? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. What is actually, let's get out of there. Eclipse Vanguard, there we go.
It's good to see you, friend.
So we want to make sure we get that one. I actually wish we could filter these by small, medium, and so on. All right, so let's find Eclipse Vanguard. So that's going to be 2 million, which makes sense. It is a fighter. Okay, so we'll select that. We got 15.8 million, and again, we're making money so that we can spend it on things like this. So let's see, Discover Vanguard. Let's go ahead and pick up that one as well. Courier Vanguard would be a good one. And let's see, how much is it actually for the miner? No, we do have, I like the Mercury Vanguard. That's only 2 million. That's not bad. That makes me think I might want to do that. We've got some additional ones in here. I'm going to have to take a look at those in the future because those might be mod vessels. Because I can't remember off the top of my head, but the names sound familiar. So you can see they are extremely expensive. So in all likelihood, we're not going to get to them before the invasion, which is the point of this playthrough. So, but I am very interested to see how that would work. Now we need to take a look at some equipment. Let's see what we've got. We want to make sure that we get the beam emitter 1 and 2. I want the bolt repeater 1 and 2. And let's see, launcher makes sense for us to get as well. I'm trying to keep an eye out for my money as well because we're going to want additional blueprints beyond just these. So, all right, I think that's going to take care of our weapons. I prefer the beam. It seems to work the best from what I've seen, but admittedly, I don't spend a whole lot of time in combat. But generally, whenever I build ships, it's with the beam. I love the bolt repeater, though. I love the look of it, the sound of it, all of that. So I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and get the mining drill just for future purposes since it is so cheap. Now, so that takes care of our medium ship. We'll go ahead and get all of that. And then in the future, whenever we're ready for the actual ship blueprints for the medium ships, we'll come back and get those. So now we're going to do the same thing for our small vessels. You can see these are much cheaper overall than what you might be thinking. Let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and get this. Only 72,000 credits. But we're running out of money. As you can see, we got about 2.1 million remaining. Let's go ahead and see. I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and take these off. I am thinking, if anything, we might want to go torpedo launcher, but that's a little bit more expensive than I want. So let's save ourselves a little bit of money, and we're going to confine ourselves to only the beam emitter, bolt repeater, and then the mining drill as far as that is concerned. And one more time through the ships. The Callisto Vanguard is a nice one, but I'm sticking mainly to, let's see, let's just go ahead and get rid of this one as well. The Courier I really like, and I think that could be a good vessel going forward. It's a very quick trading vessel, but I think we can hold off on that one. It's a little bit expensive given how much money we're spending. This is going to give us 5.7 million. And let's see, is there any others? The Cerberus I really want to get, and that tells me how much money we're going to have to save up for that. Wow, that's going to be huge. And again, this is just one faction. So, all right, I think we're good here. At least for right now. We're going to have a couple of ships. We're going to have the Eclipse Vanguard and the Discoverer Vanguard. We'll have those two. Let's go ahead and confirm that one. Those are the two we'll be able to build. Now it's time to go and visit the other factions. All right, so after doing just a little bit of looking, for whatever reason, it didn't dawn on me until after I'd already made the purchases of those blueprints and for the parts and pieces that we're going to need, as well as for the ships. It didn't even dawn on me that we might, through our game start, have already had ownership of those. I don't know why it didn't occur to me, but for whatever reason, it did not. I was pretty excited about being able to purchase those initial blueprints, and maybe that's why I pushed it aside. But after taking a look, let's actually go into the encyclopedia. Normally, from my experience, you only have access to information about ships that you have ownership of. And you can see we've got a lot, and we certainly have not purchased blueprints for all those. So I'm going to assume it was part of the game start. It might not have been, but the good news for us is if it turns out that nope, we just have the information unlocked, we can always go back and purchase what we need. But you notice on equipment, I mean, we have all the engines from, as far as I can tell, most, if not all, of the particular factions. Same thing, you know, thrusters. We've got pretty much everything, it appears, that we're going to need. So again, for right now, I've decided to hold off on making any more purchases, but there's one more thing that we needed to get done, and that's actually, if you look in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, that one inactive mission is receiving our new rank from the Hatikva Free League. So we're over here in Hatikva's Choice at the trading station. That's where we're currently located. I actually teleported over to one of our traders that was already docked here. And it looks like we've got another one that is going to dock there. Let's head over to the rep's office and let's take care of receiving that rank. All right, here we go. Let's talk to her and receive the rank.
Your exploits with great interest. There's certainly something worthy of recognition. I'm pleased to present you with a new rank within the Hatikva Free League. Of course, this rank comes with a number of benefits. These benefits are tied to the rank, so if you lose the rank, the benefits go too. But with your record, I'm sure we don't have to worry about that. These rewards befit the work you've done. Make the most of them. Once again, I thank you for your efforts. We look forward to your future accomplishments. Good luck out there.
All right, there we go. We have been promoted to League Associate. Now, if I look in here for blueprints, this is one of the things that is a little bit odd for me. So if we look at, can we see these? No, apparently we can't. So they have no modules. All right, well, that's interesting because I knew that we didn't need any modules for them because the modules they have, I know we already have in our inventory for blueprints. So this is a little bit odd. Maybe we don't own these ships. I don't know. We'll have to see when the time comes. And the good thing is we'll be able to find out soon enough because as soon as we're done with our HQ, in fact, let's just go ahead and hop out and highlight our HQ and let's teleport back over to that. All right, there we go. We'll head back out into the docking area where we get some wonderful scenery. Begin. So as soon as we're done with this build, we'll be able to find out, and we are getting ever so close. We need a few more hull parts in here, and we will be all set. About, looks like around 1,100 or so of those, and we have plenty of those that are already taken care of. And it looks like we have, that order has disappeared from the large vessels, so I don't think it ever was able to trade with us. I don't think, just by looking at these numbers, I don't think so. But who knows? Even if it did, it took forever for that trade to be completed, but I'm guessing it never was. Let's take a quick look at our money. And oh yeah, we need 1.8 million, and we currently have almost 4.1 in the account. Now the biggest part of that is you don't need money to complete these trades because I've already taken those out of my personal account, so it doesn't have to pay for those. So with that in mind, let's actually go ahead and take some of this money back. I'm going to leave a little bit of extra in there just in case. Okay, we'll go ahead and confirm out of this. There we go. As I scan down through our ships, looks like everybody is busy. I don't see anybody that's been sitting idle for a while. Our traders, you can see they have trades up and running. And I know our 3 newest trading vessels have plenty to do because I manually set those orders in motion. So that's going to do it for today. We are making steady progress, a little bit slower than we would like, knowing that an invasion is coming, but progress nonetheless. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned as we will continue our gameplay series of X4 Foundations.